Yo, people, welcome back to another live stream, and we are here for Manchester City taking on Inter Milan in the UEFA Champions League final. But I'm not alone. I got one of the biggest Inter fan podcasts was on with me. It's Johnny. How are you?
I'm doing good, man. Thank you for the invite.
Yeah. Of course, it's just about just more than 24 hours till kickoff. The nerves settled in for you?
You know what? The nerves are starting to take place right now. I was pretty calm earlier in the week. Didn't have any concerns or I felt very confident, but I think now the closer we get to the matchup is the more the nerves are starting to rile up for sure.
No, definitely. Definitely. So yeah, we are waiting on the city fan, but let's start this. If it doesn't if you can't join, then we will basically just fill in the city lineup because I think it's pretty much predictable. Just one or two positions that might change. So yeah. Yeah, be yourself, Chelsea fan. Keep hitting that like button. Yeah, please do. Champions League final day tomorrow. Yeah, it's going to be a crack of a day. And we have seen all the Italian teams lose so far in all three. Will it be a trouble of else for the Italian teams? We'll see. All right, be up yourself, mate. Yeah. So yeah. So, of course, for me as a Chelsea fan, I think almost every big club in England wants Inter to do this. So, Forza Inter. But I like Inter, but I don't like doing business with you guys. Let's get that right. Um,
Yeah, no,
as
I
a,
I, I could totally see how that's not worked out for you guys. So I understand that.
uh, but tell me a bit about Inter. Of course, I know your owners are pretty restricted in how much they can spend, etc. Um, so before we talk about on the package, what's going on behind the scenes at Inter Milan?
Yeah, so the financial situation with Inter is it's a little difficult, of course. With the team being owned, having Chinese ownership, it makes it a little bit harder since the Chinese government has put a restriction on foreign investment. So that really essentially means that Suning cannot invest more money into the club than what's already uh, been placed. And essentially, year after year, whatever we make in terms of ticket sales or player sales, that is the only way that we're able to inject money into the club. It's definitely hard. We have a bit of a loan right now with Oak Tree Financial, which is supposed to run out next June, but it looks like based on some reports with Stephen Jang, where the president of the club, where he said that they are actually working with Oak Tree to change the loan that's currently in place. So I guess that would mean either potentially extending it or getting more capital invested into the club. So it'll be definitely interesting to see what happens this summer. Obviously, we didn't see us going this far in the Champions League tournament, so to have made it this far, that's huge. That's massive for the club. And yeah, I'm super excited to see what we can do in the summer and hopefully spend some money on some new reinforcements.
Fair, fair, fair. Chris says, be up yourself, Chris Kyle. And Liverpool fan says that's what Conte threw his choice out of the prime and left course of Inter backing. Yeah, I think that's pretty much summed up.
Yeah,
Unless,
that's pretty spot on.
but yeah, it, yeah, fair enough, fair enough. I just don't want them to win the treble because it's like, and the Champions League on top. Like now you can't, if you want to say you're more successful than them, you can't throw a stick at them basically. Can't
Yeah,
poke
yeah,
it basically. So because they have completed football really. So yeah, but except that of course your rivals AC Milan has just had the madness happen at their club of what's his name?
with Paolo Maldini and Ricky
Yeah,
Massara living. Yeah.
yeah, being thrown out. What are you happy for AC? Like happy that that's what they're getting a little bit, or are you just like it's
You know,
sad
it's
for
yeah,
Italian football?
I think it's sad for Italian football for sure. It's definitely sad for a legend of the club to be disrespected in that way, especially by new ownership. I don't know really what their thought process is or what's going on there. Obviously, I don't really pay too much attention to what's happening with Milan, but once that news came out, it kind of like rocked the Italian footballing world, and a lot of fans here in the states were even surprised by the news. Yeah, I mean, some people are happy. I was surprised to hear that because he is a club legend. But some people were more shocked and disappointed because they just felt like it was a slap in the face to Paolo Maldini.
Like imagine sacking a club legend just like that out of nowhere.
Yeah.
And to be fair, I think he was in his own right. Like he wanted a bit of more money. They don't want to give it. Like come on. Inter Milan weren't expected to beat Bayern Munich in the 2010 final. Just saying. Yeah, we're going to talk on that. Of course, AC Milan. Not AC Milan. The guys were overachieved. I believe because I think most people had you either going finishing third or then going out against who did you face in the round of 16?
Porto.
Porto. They and Benfica. I think Benfica was like the more likely one. People was going Benfica, the team is going to destroy you, and then of course you beat them rather comfortably. In the end, it got to away goals, but I think that Benfica one was the key one. I think after that when you guys just kicked on
Yeah, no, I was just gonna say, yeah, like a lot of people didn't really believe Inter would be able to handle what Benfica were able to do. Obviously, they were very strong in the group stages and were able to get to obviously the quarterfinals there. I was a little nervous in the first leg, but once we did score that first goal and we kind of calmed down and eased into it, it definitely felt a lot more comfortable. And then of course, a former Inter player, Joao Mario, giving up a penalty to Inter to be able to make it 2-0 in the first leg. After that, I was pretty confident that we would be able to move on. It's not any disrespect to Benfica, but I felt like we had the better players on the pitch, and I thought that we should have been able to handle them the way we did, and I'm glad we were.
yeah. Speaking more on the pitch, what has been one of the key elements for Inter Milan really in this run to the final?
Yeah, I would say, Simone Inzaghi was under a lot of heat early in the season. He was given a lot of flack for the losses in the league. We weren't really competing very well in the league. I, as a fan, was very disappointed with our output. I thought that this year we should have been challenging for the league title. And then when you see someone like Simone, who is able to take what is happening on the pitch and what he's able to deal with the injuries that we're really facing early on in the season, with Marcelo Brozovic missing a big chunk of the season, Lukaku going down for a big part of the season, we were able to take those instances and to really just be able to maintain the course. But then once everybody was back and we were fully equipped or fully fit, I should say, he was willing to revert back to the tactics that worked so well for him last season. And I think that's when we were able to really kick on and get the results that we needed to move on in the tournament.
Uh, for me, it's a surprise run because I can't remember my predictions, but it's between, of course, between you and Barca to whoever progresses. I need to look back at it to see. I might have had you guys, but I might have had Barca. Well, yeah, well, yeah, but I agree with you. I think that the tactical part was a key one because We also saw Lukaku. From April onwards, he's been banging goals for you guys. Before that, he struggled
Yeah.
really, and I think that's also played a key part. His form coming into it. So yeah, I think that's all I got on Inter for now, unless there's any questions. So let's go to Man City. Of course, was they are on the verge of completing the treble. Something you guys did last time you won on the Champions League. Hey, also um, City, they have had tough times. And then for me, after that March, since that March international break where Pep got to almost changed his philosophy almost or added something to his philosophy. That's what I think City kept on. You saw John Stones come into the midfield. You saw um, this long ball technique they did against Arsenal, long ball to Ireland, and then De Bruyne does his thing. I think that's a key part in the sachet that they can play basically any style they want um, on City. I respect Man City on the pitch, but I'm not a fan of them off the pitch. Um, I agree. But yeah, Nick, I will save that comment because I got a picture of that. I got a picture of that. That's where I wanted to show. So yeah, it was and it almost makes them dangerous. It leads me on to the fine midfield with John Stones also being there. But it does create some weaknesses, especially on the counter attack. And we saw United do it a few times, but it's not coming off. And you guys are the perfect counter attacking side, really. If there is anyone in the world that's a back of counter attack, it is Inter Milan, especially with Lautaro Martinez and Lukaku, that partnership. We'll talk on maybe Eden Dzeko. Should he start? Should he not? I know I wouldn't say there's a big split on it in the Inter fan base, but yeah. Um, so what have you made of Man City?
I mean, yeah, listen, they are a well organized, well managed team. They press so well. That's probably my biggest concern going into this tie is knowing what Guardiola is going to want to do in the at least in the early stages. I'm sure he's going to want to get a quick goal to kind of put the pressure on Inter and relieve the pressure off his team, and then by doing that, he would force Inter to kind of abandon their style. I think that would be what he's hoping to do and force us to play more on the offensive when whereas we like to play more of a selective press where we kind of pick our moments to push forward and to kind of pressure the ball handler and then be able to hopefully hit them on the counter and get numbers in our favor. So it'll I mean there's talent all over the pitch for them. I respect the players that they have, the manager of course, but that doesn't mean that there aren't vulnerabilities, like you said. We saw what Man United was able to do, and when I saw that game in the FA Cup, I thought to myself, okay, now here's an opportunity for Inter to take what Man U was able to do, um, and use it to our advantage ourselves. Now, I'm not disrespecting Manchester United, but I feel like we have also better players than they do. And I think it would be easier for us to go ahead and take those moments and maybe be able to capitalize and score some goals on the counter, if we do, seize the opportunity and take advantage of it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Um, and also the thing is, if City aren't at their best, And in the early few minutes, we could see Inter Milan doing what they do best. Chris, Inter Milan will frustrate City as long as possible and try stay in the game as long as possible, which I think they will. Oh, unlike United, just don't concede in 50 seconds.
Yeah, that would
That
be
is,
nice.
Pep can overthink big games, for example. Yeah, of course. In our one, I think it's a bit different because of Holland and just the fact that they are going for that prestigious prize of the treble. I don't know which one they are thinking about more, the treble or just solely get this Champions League and then think of what. So um, let's go more more into this of City. Let me just see if I got that. Of City. Let me just check. Yeah, this is the one I want. This is the picture I want. Okay, so I got the picture. Um, we'll also talk a bit about pressure now. Let me just quickly. Who is the pressure on Mo? Mm, yeah, I'll share it like this right now. I couldn't get it on the this one. So I I got this. So we can basically see that City like to play this with stones, and when they don't have the ball, stones goes into midfield almost, and depending on what they um let me go like that. Okay, so yeah. So Stones goes into midfield. You can see it clearly there. It goes into midfield. Now we see De Bruyne going into this part of almost his right wing spot, and Bernardo so well cutting in. Is that potential worry for you guys with Demarco and he's defending, or is he on the other side?
No, no, yeah, that would be definitely be a concern with Demarco. Defending is not his biggest strength. It's more of his ball playing, his set piece skills. Demarco defensively likes to leave a little bit too much space for a player to deliver a cross, a player to attack him. Um, Whereas on the opposite side, it would be a lot easier to defend. Um, I think that Darmian and Dumfries would do a better job defensively than DiMarco would. And even though Bastoni's back there, and I think he's pretty solid defensively, he isn't the strongest like physical specimen of a defender. So it does make it a little bit difficult to be able to withstand if especially when you have players as talented as Bernardo Silva and Kevin De Bruyne coming at you. So that is probably my biggest concern for sure.
Mm. But this is next comment. How can Inter deal with this full in midfield? Rodri, Stones, De Bruyne, and Gundogan, and depending on if De Bruyne stay. So
Yeah, I mean that's a great question. I definitely think our midfield is equipped. I don't think that Manchester City is going to go up against a stronger midfield all season. No, no disrespect to other teams in the Premier League or other teams they face in the Champions League. But when you have a player like Marcelo Brozovic, who some people can argue is the best six in the world, or at least up there with the Casemiros and the Rodris for sure. You have another player like Barella, who to me is the most complete midfielder in the world. I think any team would be thrilled to be able to sign a player of his quality. But he's my favorite player in the team, and then you have Hakan Çalhanoğlu, who's been playing fantastic. He is another set piece specialist. He is able to shoot from range. So I think our midfield is best equipped to go up against Manchester City. However, it's definitely going to be a challenge for sure. I mean, there's talent all over the place. You know, if you're man marking each one, you're going to leave space for someone else to be free or to be like a roamer and to kind of maybe um, be a decoy at times to lay the ball off and stuff like that. So I mean, I think it's going to be a difficult battle. I think that's where the tie is going to be won or lost is in the midfield, and whoever's midfield is able to prevail.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. I think it's almost similar to our Champions League final against City because that midfield was key. If you look, we stopped De Bruyne through Kansé, Kovacic, and of course Jorginho. Oh, and Mount tucking in. So no, yeah, no Mount covered Mount Jorginho and Kansé. If we didn't stop De Bruyne, probably would have scored a few times. Brozovic, I think, is underrated. I think the only problem is his age. He's on the wrong age. I believe he's what now? Close, just
He's
over 30.
he just turned 30,
Yeah, I think that's
or
the
he's
key
or he
thing
is
is
turning. I think he might actually be turning 30. Let me do it.
Marcelo Brozovic. Um, yeah, he is 30. He is
Yep.
30. Uh, so yeah, let me see. I think yeah, he's turning 31 this year. So I think it can still be good, but you gotta have the right people around him. This comment, of course, he is a United fan, and I'm not gonna agree with you when you say that Inter have better players than United to beat City.
Yeah, I mean that. Yeah, everyone's gonna have their own opinions about their own club, so I'm not gonna tell people what to think. That's just my opinion. Doesn't mean I'm right or wrong. So
For me, I think you guys have some definitely. If you look striker wise, of course, you guys got better than that. Oh, is here, City fan is here. Just in time. Be up yourself. How are you, man?
How are you?
I'm good,
yeah,
thank you.
Sorry, I was on.
So
I had a call I had to attend to.
no worries, no worries. So yeah, we're just speaking on City. And your shape is. But before we discuss furthermore, um, you can you tell us quickly a bit more about what's going on with City, and how Pep has changed things almost.
It's very clear. Everybody knows what's changed, right? I mean, he's looked for ways to stop the transitions from the opposition. He's deployed what we call the box formation. And it's nothing new. I mean, if you, I always talk about the fact that if you go back to when he played for FC Barcelona in the days of Laudrup and Goicoechea and all those guys, they actually played a 3-4-3 diamond, and they didn't play a box; they had a diamond. They didn't play traditional fullbacks. They played with him at the base of the diamond, and there were two halfbacks and a number 10 with the front three. So it's nothing new. It's just adapted to an old tactic to new formation. That's how they won their first Champions League, by playing that system with Koeman, playing the Diaz role. So it's nothing new. I think when Pep was getting rid of the fullbacks, Cancelo, for example, who went away, Zinchenko went away, people were screaming blue murder. People were saying, "What is he doing?" When Walker was playing, people were complaining, and he was evolving to a system that he had used in the past when he played to win the first UCL. So and it's effective. I mean, we've seen even Liverpool now adopted this new system, right? With Liverpool now playing Trent as a hybrid 6 and hybrid 2, dropping to midfield in possession, dropping back out of possession. Arsenal play the same way with Zinchenko. We're using the left back to drop into midfield, making the box. So right now, it's all about boxes. That's all they do now. All these modern teams are playing with boxes. Even Madrid did it against us for a while. So that's what it's all about. It's a modern game. And when you play the box system and you have good players who can play on the ball, it makes it very hard for you to win the ball back for them because they have such control. If you have a team that can't really keep the ball and play the ball well, you play a box, they will get killed on the sideline because the team can't keep the ball in the middle of the park. This helps them
Yeah.
because they can keep the ball. So, and when
Um,
Holland drops into the middle, then it becomes a 5. It becomes almost a pentagon in the middle as well. So it's a good system to use. I coach kids and I use the system a lot as well.
fair, fair. I got you. Do you think Inter have better players than United to beat City?
Player for player, no, they don't. There's not one player that gets into that first 11 from Inter into the City squad. I'm not trying
No,
to.
United.
Oh no,
United.
United. He was saying,
Oh, United team.
yeah, compared to
Yeah.
the team you played in the FA Cup final.
I mean, United are a different kettle of fish because United have pace on the counter attack, right, which can hurt City, which is the weakness. In terms of pace, I mean, Inter play a 3-5-2 with Lautaro, Dzeko, and Lautaro Lukaku. One drops to receive and uses his body to link the other one, and they use the fullbacks to do what I call inside out. They build from inside to out and use the fullbacks to cross the ball. In terms of talent, am I more scared of United? Probably because it's United, because of their pace that they have in behind. Goalkeeper Onana, I'll pick Onana over De Gea. Strikers, Lukaku versus who's it for what United? Martial. Yeah, I'm not too sure. Maybe I'll just pick Lukaku.
I think
Rashford for
Lautaro.
me.
I
Yeah,
think Lautaro
Rashford.
is the
Lautaro was good, but then we saw the World Cup. What happened, right? I mean, he had to be dropped
yeah.
for Alvarez because he was wasteful in front of goal. And maybe for Inter that's different because he's more efficient. But I don't know. I mean, it's hard to compare United and Inter. Which game was I more concerned about? The United game than the Inter game. Because it's United,
Okay.
because they're rivals, because they know how to play us. They played us before. This is a fresh new game, and it's going to be interesting.
Fair enough. Um, I will save that comment for you, Nick, about Barrella, because I got no one. You got any questions for him, Johnny? Got any questions
No, yeah,
from
no,
him?
no, yeah, no. I mean, he pretty much like broke down their style of play very well, and no, I enjoyed that analysis for sure. So
Yeah.
yeah, but no questions. Yeah.
We did a show yesterday, just to give you some other thoughts, and I'll share this with you guys. We did a show yesterday. So me and a couple of friends, we do this a lot. We study games. We studied 23 of Inter's games all season, 23 of them, watched every single minute.
Mm,
What we were looking for was what we call patterns of play, right? If you look at the press conference and the players' press conference, you hear the word, we know how they play, right? Because they've studied the film, they look at the patterns of play. What Inter like to do is that they do what we call inside out, right? They start off the ball through the center, they can go back to the goalkeeper, and they always build up from the right side. About 80% of their build up plays from the right side. There is a penchant to do that over and over again. So what I expect to happen is that Pep is going to figure out a way to nullify that side of the field with Grealish, with De Bruyne, who's probably going to play more left, and Akanji on that side of the field. So overload the left side, which is basically into the right side, and then make sure that on the right side, it may probably be Foden, who can keep the width to go in behind. It's really interesting. And then when Inter press up, when they attack on the counter attack, one of the things that we saw with where they play is that they leave massive holes between the defensive line and the offensive line. There's a massive hole in between there. So if you play on transition, which Bayern Munich did, they can easily go that in that way. They don't have the speed to run back to close the space. It's going to be interesting. Now their strengths are clearly, Onana with the ball to either Lautaro or Lukaku, hold the ball down, spin it wide. Dumfries goes in, swings the ball across, and then somebody's there to finish it off. That's what I expect to happen. I don't expect to have them to play tiki-taka, quick football through the middle and score that way. I think goals will come from long ball to the middle, bring it down, switch it to the right or left side, run across, swing it in, and somebody's there to finish it off by head or by foot. That's what I expect.
Yeah, that's pretty interesting to hear because I mean, obviously, I didn't do that deep of a dive into Inter's play style, and to hear that they go on the right side from the games you watch about 80% of the time, is interesting because you could ask any Inter fan, they would argue that that's the weaker side. Dumfries isn't good at crossing the ball in. He typically hits the first defender when he does try to cross it into whether it's Lukaku or Lautaro, whoever. And his pace isn't really, in my opinion, it's a bit of a myth. People say like, "Oh, Dumfries has pace." I've never seen him been able to beat his man stride for stride. So if that is the plan, let's say like you predict it could be, I would argue that our left side is our stronger side in terms of talent and players that can play the ball in and can deliver, a final ball, whether it's Bastoni, whether it's Dimarco. I would much rather be on the left side personally
Yeah.
if that's the way they go. I also think that allows, when you have maybe they like to move sometimes in pockets of triangles, whether it's Çalhanoğlu, Dimarco, and Bastoni, or Darmian, Dumfries, and Barella, and like to have interchanging plays where
Mhm.
one can overlap the other and stuff. And I would much rather be with those guys because whether it's Bastoni, Dimarco, or Çalhanoğlu, I think either one of them could deliver a through ball right. If they decide to not play over the top or cross it in, they can get a ball that could split the defense and maybe free Lautaro or free Lukaku, whomever it may be. So that would definitely be an interesting battle for sure.
Yeah. I think the caveat is that, and I think this probably is the reason why, is when the ball goes to Onana, the reason why they get switched to the right is because he's right-footed, right? So his natural instinct, and this happens to all goalkeepers who build that, right? Goalkeepers are right-footed, like to play the ball to the right. Well, think about Alisson at Liverpool. One of his big weaknesses is trying to play the ball, distribute the ball from his right foot to the left-hand side. They always tend to struggle with that. Right-footed goalkeepers are going to build out. Now, because Edison's left-footed, Edison has the option to go long, go left, go right, or go central. He's actually better on the left-hand side. So that's probably why that bias of when the ball goes to Onana, his natural instinct is to sweep it out right because he's right-footed. And it's easier for him to build out that way than to cross on the other side and switch the ball from his right foot to the left-hand side because it's less accurate. It's probably a thing with being right-footed. That's probably why. So all the clips that I saw were about the ball going back to Onana and then him playing out many times to the right as opposed to the left.
Yeah, no, that makes sense.
Yeah. But again, I was on the space earlier on. I completely respect Inter. I think they're. I mean, of all the teams in Italy, that's probably the one that I watch the most, and I actually like them the most. And I respect what they've done. I mean, the history of Inter is clear. Going back to the days where internationality, the international players who came there as well. So I know that history, and I respect that. It's going to be a good game tomorrow.
For sure. Yeah,
Yeah.
I agree.
Definitely. So
And one more thing, I think where Inter can hurt City is, and I talked about this, made some notes about this, is the long shots. So Çalhanoğlu, I believe that's his name, right? His shots out of the box are really, really good. That's where I'm worried the most, and also I'm worried about corners because we've seen from corners they're very, very disciplined in how they defend corners, also how they attack corners. In fact, I wanted to go against Milan, I believe, in a show on Paramount Plus here in the US. They showed how when Dzeko scored that goal, it was a pattern they've actually done before in the past against another team. I believe it was Napoli or some other team. So it's not just by accident. Everything's rehearsed. It's scripted. They know what to do. So those are the two areas I would say worry me the most is the outside the box shot and then the set pieces.
I'm just busy setting this one thing up. Then we can of that. So let's get some comments. Um, I'm off to work now. My prediction 2-1 2-1 City. Fair enough. We'll get into prediction later on. Nico, Barella will be a big difference on how that Inter Milan midfield gonna play in transition, moving the ball forward to Inter front two. Now I got something yesterday, picture, and I'm going to share my screen again, and okay, no worries, Let me just share my screen for this one. Just quickly wanna show that. So we can see the ball is on the what's that? The left hand side, right? Lautaro is on this man. Lukaku is holding the. This gap is open. Barella again on transition. It can be very key. This is the one thing I've got. I don't know. Have you seen this often? Barella doing this, Johnny?
Yes, yeah, that's something that they definitely work on, especially when they want to hit teams on the counter. He typically is the catalyst of pushing the ball forward. Um, the strikers will make space for him to run into, and then give him avenues to be able to lay a ball off to whether it's Lukaku on the right or Lautaro on the left. They give him options, which I think definitely makes it harder for defenders to make a decision on who when to step up or who to press more. And I think that's a big reason as to why Simone Inzaghi likes playing with two strikers to just have multiple outlets and options available to that they can work off each other with.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I don't know, Carl. Do you have anything to say on this?
No, it's the 5-3-2 or 3-5-2. That's how it's played. I think the key question will be when Inter have the ball, how efficient are they in using the ball to score a goal? That becomes that's the question, right? And when City have the ball, are they pedantic or are they quick and direct? Now, this is why, in my opinion, I've said that I don't want to see Mahrez anywhere near this game. Nowhere near this game. Nowhere near this game. On the right side, in my opinion, we need to have a Phil Foden because Phil not just brings goals, he penetrates, he's quick, he's movement, he can dribble through two or three players in tight spaces. Mahrez is one-footed. We know exactly what Mahrez is going to do, especially when Inter are defending against a five. We know what he does, right? He will chop back to his left foot, come central, and then give up the ball. He's never aggressive or brave enough, which I don't want to see Mahrez in this game. If I see Mahrez in this game, it's going to be a very long game. Now, on the other hand, too, people talk about Bernardo Silva on the right-hand side. I don't know if Bernardo's going to play tomorrow either. I think we need, this is not a Madrid game where Madrid are going to play the mid-block. I think you need to have a player who can penetrate in the right side of the field. So it's going to be interesting.
Yeah, I'm definitely curious because I was on another show the other day, and we were talking about that, who would be the guy on the right side, and I thought it would be Bernardo, but I totally understand where you're coming from. I just um, Mahrez would be a shock. He's the guy I do want to see for the same exact reason as you said.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
and Foden, I said to them, whether he plays on the right or the left. I'm obviously Grealish seems to have cemented himself on the left side, but Foden was a guy that I highlighted as someone that
Yeah.
I would be worried about because of his dribbling and with the way our defenders aren't strong moving laterally. I think that he would be such a weapon breaking them down.
Yeah, I think again, the issue with Bernardo and Grealish starting is that while Bernardo scored 2 goals against Madrid, fair enough, his output is not as efficient as Phil's output is, right? And then Jack, we know Jack is inefficient. And he does well holding the ball, running behind, but he's not brave enough. He's not clinical enough on that left side. So we lose the ability to get goals from the left side, right? So that's why in my opinion, you need someone on the right side who's a goal getter like a Phil, not just a Bernardo. Yeah, so it's going to be interesting to see what happens. But
So yeah, can you quickly give your City lineup, to me?
I mean, I think it's going to be Edison in goal. I think it's going to be Edison in goal.
Anderson,
I think it's
right
going to
side.
be right will be Walker.
No chance of maybe who plays on that side? A Kanji or someone like that?
Ganji will left side.
Who's on the right foot, guys? If Walker isn't there.
That'll be Diaz will be central.
Yes, for central. Then Ake or Kanji.
I think Akanji will play left.
Kanji. Then of course Rodri.
Rodri and Stones probably. Yeah.
Imagine
As
if
long
he
as
overthinks again and drops
sorry,
Rodri. Just think if he drops Rodri again,
no, he's not
like
going
he
to do
did
that. He's not going to do that.
and then on that right it's Gundogan.
Yeah, this is kind of where this is where I differ with my fan base. But it is what it is. I mean, he can't drop the captain for the
Oh,
final.
Johan Silva.
No, it has to be Gundogan. You can't. He's not going to drop the captain in the final of Champions League in Turkey. He's not going to do that.
Yeah.
Because
Never know. Okay,
he's not going to do that.
KDB.
If he does that, then we have some issues. But he's not going to do that.
And then
It's going to be Holland. Holland's going to be center forward, probably.
um,
There's an argument to say. I guess there's no argument to say. It's going to be Holland. The left probably be Jack Grealish for the control for the most part. And the right side is where really I'm thinking it's going to be Phil Foden.
Foden. Oof. No Bernardo Silva.
This is what I would like to see.
And then you can also Foden can tuck in, maybe KDB go to the wing.
Yeah, they'll always rotate. Yeah, they'll rotate between each other. That's what they'll do. The five. Think about this as a 5 and 5, right? It's always a 5 and 5, or what some people call WM. So you have a 3 and 2 and 2 and a 3, and then there's a box in the middle. So Inter play 3-5-2. If they play 3 mids, then it's 4 versus 3 in the middle, and it's 2 versus 3 in the defensive line. What they will have is have more defensive cover, so it's going to be 3 versus 5. So it all depends on it all depends on how efficiency are on the ball and how good Inter are on the counterattack with transitions and efficiency. This game comes down to efficiency, which is why I have Phil on the right because of the efficiency.
Fair enough.
There's another player that I would if you're looking for extreme efficiency and less control, I would go Alvarez on the left. Yeah, that's me. Yeah, that's me. If you want extreme efficiency and less control, which means that Inter could score 2, City could score 3, I would always do Alvarez, Foden, and Holland. Because then when you look at the numbers that they produce when they play together, it's stratospheric. It's the best front three that we have in terms of goal production, but it's not as efficient as Jack in there as well. So
go to the Inter lineup. Now I've put Onana and Martinez in there. I know those two are bang on to start. Now the rest.
Yeah, on the left side it would be Bastoni.
Okay.
And even though I would prefer De Vrij, they're gonna go with Acerbi in the center.
Don't what Cherby like this.
With a C, not instead of a Z.
Oh, okay.
No. So yeah, it's Acerbi.
Sure. Okay. And
then on the right side it'll be Darmian. He's pretty much going to stick with the team that's gotten him here. And then it'll be, you could put Dumfries on the right side. He'll be the right wing back. Although in my perfect world, Skriniar would be healthy and be playing further back, and Darmian would be up front. But on the left, it'll be Dimarco. He's been very, very strong for us on the ball and kind of being able to handle pressure and helping us get out of tight spaces like that. So next to him will be Hakan.
Okay.
Or in the middle will be Brozovic right there. He'll be the regista for us.
Brozovic, and then the side is.
And then that will be Hakan.
Like this.
Yep. And then you have Barella right next to him. And although I want Lukaku to start because I think that his physicality could be a weapon, it's probably going to be Dzeko, and then they would want to maybe bring on Lukaku. ideally, it's still a draw, but I don't know how that'll work out. But I mean, yeah, I think they're gonna try to hang on as long as they can in the first half, and then be able to bring Lukaku on against tired legs. I think that's what Inzaghi's hoping for.
Fair, fair, fair. So yeah. Yeah. Definitely keep an eye on Onana as just wants him. Um. So yeah. Of course, just fan. He wants City to win cause he doesn't want Lukaku to come back to Stamford Bridge with a Champions League medal. I think our thought team will show him this.
That can't be a reason why you want. I mean, come on, give the guy a break, man. He's been through a lot.
So, yeah. But you need to go, so I will quickly shout out your socials. The can people find you?
Yeah, you can find me on Twitter. I'm at Gundalorian. Weird story is the year in which Ilkay Gunnar was scoring all those goals, the COVID year. That was the year of the Mandalorian from Disney, and so I thought about Gundawan, Gundalorian. So you catch me on Twitter at Gundalorian, YouTube channel at Pitch Points. That's where I'm at. Talk about Champions League, Premier League, and all other leagues as well. Thank you.
Yeah, be up yourself for training. And yeah, your score prediction quickly.
I have to back City. I would do 2-1 City.
It's one city. That's fair. That's fair. So yeah, if you need to go, you can go. We will quickly wrap it up.
All right. Thank you,
Um,
guys. Nice one.
Have a
yeah,
good one, man.
that's it.
Bye.
So yeah, I just quickly want to bring out bit of tactical. So you look. This is how you guys line up compared to them.
Hmm.
So let me just there. There we go. Um, so let's see. Let's say they have the ball. How are you going to stop man mark or defend this? Because let's say they have the ball, Martinez, etc. are there. Is not there, or be more like it's like this, and then Brozovic would need to pick a man to defend, and of course that would be interesting to see. So, how do you think you guys are going to defend this four in midfield with that one man open?
So I mean, Inter like to play very physical. They like to make teams uncomfortable, make sure that their presence is known. So they're going to want to make sure that they're on top of whoever it is that's carrying the ball and not allowing them to have the ability to play out and find the open man and be able to push the counter attack or the attack forward. Um, every man in the defense is good at providing coverage, whether it's DiMarco, Dumfries, Darmian. People know where to be. The only thing that could be, of concern is the pace that City possess. It's definitely, I mean, it's not blistering pace, but it is still faster than what Inter is able to do. So, I mean, to have guys knowing where they have to be, making sure that they are laser focused, because I mean, these guys can hit one, two, three passes in a matter of seconds, and then you have to worry about numbers. And that's where I think Andre Onana is going to be super influential because he is a sweeper keeper. He is quick off his line. He has cat-like reflexes. He's great on the ball. Um, so I mean, I think they're going to try to kind of play more of a low block and then hit on the counter, but it's gonna be tough for sure.
Yeah, yeah. Uh, Nick says if Dzeko starts tomorrow, Inter will suffer. Well,
Yeah,
Conte
that's
said.
that's my fear. So I agree.
I think that's almost the general consensus around the Inter Milan fan base. No worries, mate. Cheers. See you soon. Um, now I actually wanted to ask him this: if they get this ball in here, but let's say they get the ball here to Lautaro. I think Walker has got enough pace, but that is if he starts, of course, he did go down in the FA Cup final. So I think pace wise, Walker got this, but it's that ball there from what's his face, Darmian or Sherby. That ball through to Lautaro on this side, cutting in and shooting. Can Akanji and Diaz react quick enough? That's the main thing. I think, and again, long balls is also a thing. Um, you guys can exploit them with. If talked about Onana, of course, he's been one of the best, your best assets in terms of goalkeeper. He may be on the way out now. I believe there's some rumors, speculation, was moving to us. Of, I believe that's due to your finances situation. Um, so yeah. Can Grealish, if he gets in behind, what threat can he cause? But I think you guys should. Big concern is Dumfries, of course, build up wise. If you guys lose the ball, guys do have a bit of trouble in build up play with Dumfries, and we have seen sometimes that he has been like just pushed up there, almost right winger at
Mhm.
times in build up. So I think that could be a fear if you lose the ball somewhere close on that right hand side. Um, but yeah, I think that's about it. Really, that I have to discuss. Anything you want, you got?
No, I mean, yeah, I think we pretty much covered the big parts and the key players. So yeah, I'm just excited to get this game going, and hopefully the boys don't let me down.
Yeah, hopefully. Um, so yeah, I can't be up yourself. It would be funny. It would be funny. It would be funny.
It would be funny for sure.
Especially against an Italian side. So yeah, but we spoke. If you guys win, this it would be madness. It would be madness because most people don't have you getting past. Just fans prediction is 2-1 Haaland. Now I'm going to come to you. Um, Score prediction and goal scorers.
Yeah, to be honest, I mean, people could say I'm crazy, but I truly believe that Inter will win this game 2-1. I think Lautaro and Barella will be on the score sheet for us. And I would, if I had to pick, I would say De Bruyne scores for City. I think he has a goal to make up for his previous appearance in the Champions League final. I know he got hurt, but I think he wants to play with a purpose. Um, and maybe prove some naysayers wrong. So, but in the end, I think Inter's defense and Onana's goalkeeping will be the difference. So,
That's a fair prediction. Um, my prediction now. I've wondered. I, I'm still not sure. Also back. However, I can see both teams winning. So just because I don't want to do 2-1, I'll go and back Inter, and I'm going to say scrappy 1-0 from Inter. And you know what? Eden Dzeko to get the goal from Manchester City
wow.
player. They sing about him. Hopefully, fingers crossed, fingers crossed. So yeah, Forza Inter, Forza Inter. Um. So yeah. Um. So yeah. But be up yourself for joining. You can quickly shout out your socials.
Yeah. I mean, my Twitter handle's right there at SauceGMP. You can follow me there. You can follow our interviews podcast on Twitter. It's just interviews underscore P0D. We cover everything with Inter Milan. If you're interested and want to learn more about the club on a match to match basis from a fan's perspective, that's where you could find myself and my partner Alex Rafa. So yeah.
Yeah, definitely. And Yeah, you guys know where to find me. It's underscore coach underscore corner on Instagram, and then Hanu at what 07083, no wait 7083 0030. So yeah, and then on TikTok, Coach Corner One. They will definitely be coming. Our score predictions and stuff I will put out as clips on Instagram, TikTok, and yeah, as shorts. So yeah, um, just big up to you. Now, be up to you. Pleasure having you on.
Thank you, man.
And yeah,
Appreciate it.
yeah, we will definitely link up. I'll just will look if I can do a review. Depending on how the time and everything goes. It, oh, I can just imagine already into one it. So yeah, I'm even getting nerves, and I'm supposed to be a neutral. So yeah, but be up everyone for tuning in. On how much the likes and let's check that. It's 7 likes. Be up yourselves, people. Yeah, definitely afterwards we'll get a few more views. So yeah, be up yourselves, and we are out. Cheers.